All right. Welcome back, friendos. Let's get some music for this playthrough real quick. I'm excited about this for sure. Maybe a little Chip Zell in the background here for flavor. So one of the things that's, let me see here. One of the things that's really great about SHMUP Creator is that you can iterate very quickly through stuff. And in order to create great gameplay, you need to iterate quickly, or you have to be able to think about things and make changes and then wait for compile and whatnot. So I really want to do a new playthrough of kind of where I've gotten so far, and I thought I would just do that. Make some notes for myself. It's kind of an opening section. This is a kind of like someone said it the other day in the community. They said it's like a shmup, an adventure shmup, right? So, and I've definitely got issues, but this kind of gives me a sense of like, those guys are interesting. Where they come from? Oh, interesting. Huh. Guess I'm making changes already. I didn't want that hat to be so tall, so let me pull this down here. Oh, interesting. So, I guess I had an extra guy up there that wasn't. I didn't want to create too much verticality for players to get lost. This is all just temporary spacing for the play spaces and sprite art that I've borrowed just to kind of give flavor. Not meant for commercial use or any of that. This is just stuff that I like, and I thought that I would kind of use it as a basis to. Oh, that was the weapon point. Man, I am messing stuff up everywhere. Hang on. Yeah, okay. So, quick little pro tip. I do this all the time. Don't leave your managed weapon tab open, because when you try to move the enemy around, you're going to move that weapon tab. It's easy to fix, but then you'll move the weapon point, and that will cause other issues for you. So, it's just going to adjust the spawn order here. Those guys there. Let's see how that did. All right, let's play this again. All right. So I made good point there, showing kind of what you can and can't do. I'm having a fun time exploring. I think the space here definitely. These guys are they're typical like shmup enemies in terms of just getting the player kind of used to things spawning. I'm looking forward to the next version of SHMUP Creator because it'll have what will be considered, I hope, a look at camera. So, and all that means is you can see that. Where's my mouse? Where's the mouse? Well, basically what it means is that, as you can see, the camera doesn't move to the left until I hit basically this. So think about it as an invisible box. And so after we get the new functionality, the camera will start moving to the right or left and be able to look ahead, so you don't have enemies pop it up as quickly and have to respond to them while you're moving. It's okay. So with that being said, we got our turret, typical classic turret guys here. Still kind of getting this is the first time the player's really gotten vertical. I do like that. I really enjoy surprising the player. So, for instance, in this case, you were kind of led this way, and then these guys kind of pop out of here, and I like that forces you to kind of turn around and deal with those guys. I'm still working on weapon placement for the top and the part. I like these hard points on the main player ship. And because it gets you to think about the space, but also creates kind of a, like you can see here, these are this is like supposed to be just a temporary gate that basically you have to encourages you not to go up there, of course. I still work on the graphics for that, but coming in here we got kind of the spore boss thing. But yeah, I like that the different weapons being on the top and bottom of the craft itself, that basically it creates these spaces where you're thinking about how each weapon is more effective if you need to get those low spots on the the screen, for instance. You have to actually go lower if you can't reach the top of it, right? So I'm not sure, this is all prototype, so yeah, I definitely been dreaming about a game like this for a long time. It's kind of like Eintroid or Einhander meets Metroid, maybe something in that space. Like I said, it's kind of like maybe an adventure shmup. I want to create some kind of reward structure or some other kind of special thing that happens after you kind of defeat the spore boss here. Working on our different enemy types. One of the things I really love about this is that I can put new enemies in the game within, from going from like just borrowed art, if you will, and tech arting like sprite sheets for animation. You don't even have to do those things necessarily. But I can really get those things done in just a couple hours, so I can pump out new enemies, in a very, very short period of time compared to other game engines, which is very interesting. One of the nice things about SHMUP Creator is that because you can do that, and because it's not trying to be a generic game development tool, the systems are built in mind for fast iteration and development for gameplay. And you can build all kinds of different types of shmups. So, as Sonny would say, he's like, well, I wasn't envisioning a shmup like this, and the engine isn't necessarily made specifically for it, but you can get pretty far, as I'm just getting destroyed by these enemies. This is the first time I put in this new pattern. I put a little bit more pressure in with the smaller circular enemies and then these demon enemies. But the game's making me actually focus on it a little bit here. And one of the things you have to do is you gotta play your creations a lot, right? And then if you're very lucky, you kind of get to a point where you've made something that feels good and challenging, but maybe not too crazy challenging, that allows players into the stars are having a problem finding my new collision spot. Yeah, so and that's what we're doing right now. We're just giving it a playthrough. And if you're very lucky, you'll have people that will want to do you a solid. You only have the opportunity. Ouch! These guys got me. To have someone play your creation for the first time, only the first time, right? So they can, because every time they play afterwards, they get better, and their expectations, as with all games, become more pronounced because of their experience, right? And good game development allows you to take advantage of the things that players are learning and to use them. Very cool. Got a secret up here for a minute. Those will be actually invisible, but this will allow you to essentially capitalize on giving the player opportunities to use the weapons they find and the different techniques and skills that they're learning to be successful, but also feel challenged, right? If the game plays itself and there's no challenge, and some people don't mind that, but that's not the type of gamer I am. I need some, I need some challenge. If I don't feel like I'm accomplishing something with the challenge attached to it, and there's no room to grow, I don't feel as satisfied with the game mechanics. So, and a big part of that is you've got to play your creations a lot, man. That little turret just destroyed me. Currently, I have 1,000 life. You can see it in the upper left corner. And that's just for prototype, because the other thing that we don't have is we don't have a checkpoint system. I've been very sheepish, but I'm hoping that I can have Sunny maybe put in a checkpoint system for us so that I can manage these larger spaces. But until then, this is what we're doing, right? So, I like the amount of bullet pressure we're getting, and with the enemies having slightly different, like the circular enemies, the ectoplasm blobs, the purple ones, they take more damage, so they're more like blockers, right? So they're not really dangerous. One of the other things I found interesting is that when you play in a space like this, it's really interesting that these things have a hard time getting to my smaller collision sphere now, these stars that is, is that you can always run away, right? Which is, like in normal shmups where the camera's on rails, you're forced to essentially dodge. So, and I'm still playing with what does that mean in terms of enemies spawning? What does that mean for bullet patterns? What does it mean when you've got vertical and horizontal movement? And so it's been fun kind of exploring that space, and I'm discovering gameplay and experiences, because I haven't quite played a shmup just quite like this. I've been dreaming about something like this for a long time. So part of game development is exploration, essentially discovering what you find that's fun, and then building some experiences that take advantage of that, and seeing whether or not your designs actually, you know, inspire or create those types of experiences for other people. You know, that's a big part of the game development process. You know, I really enjoyed the Skull Lord here. You know, very much, you know, thanking Castlevania Symphony Night, one of my most favorite games ever. Just amazing Metroidvania. Oh shoot, I bonked myself in the door. What's gonna happen? Man, that worked. Oh, not paying attention. And so it's been really fun putting this in. Oh man. Okay. Focus. That laser pattern. I need to double check the collision on the laser pattern. I did it again. Man. All right. I might need to move that door just a tiny bit to the left. All right. And you know, by playtesting and figuring things out, like I'm taking way too much damage from those beams and the eyes, so I need to double check the actual beams here on their collision. And I might need to open up that spread a little bit. There's also a collision wall here. Oops, I blocked that one. But that means you can't actually just shoot that thing from here, which is kind of neat. So. Yeah, all about practice. And talking and focus is a whole you know, streaming's always stuff. Taking damage, I think it's all pretty reasonable though in this case. Like I don't think anything's super cheap here. But again, kind of, you know, exploring the space where what does it mean when you have, you know, enemies that sit on top of collision? What does it mean to dodge these, you know, these enemies? Also, like the flare laser, it has a charge up and a cooldown, so it does a lot more damage than the regular. That was interesting that I caught just the edge of that. But it does a lot more damage than your laser Gatling gun, right? So, but it's kind of a risk reward side of things. So I plan to put definitely a lot more enemy weapons and play weapons into the game. I'm thinking about the bosses giving you weapons that you pick up as well. I'm also been kind of dreaming about possibly kind of a nod to Castlevania Symphony Night as well. When you kill enemies, it would be nice to have like a percentage drop for them to drop their own weapon types. And so, you know, if you grind out a bunch of enemies, you know, you have an opportunity to pick up their weapon. So every time you see a new enemy, like if you saw her, maybe you get the ice crystal, you know, like guard, or maybe you get her triple, like frosty shot. Green laser. So, dang, yeah, it got me. So one of my newest bits here was is with the Queen Snail there, nod to Metal Slug. Amazing pixel art. Some of the best pixel art spread art ever in games. So it was fun kind of tech arting her and then kind of imagining what works in the engine, because you know, the engine is designed with certain things in mind. And so, for instance, like you don't have the ability to let's get rid of this guy here. It's like spinning plates. Whoa, hey, like the thing that laser disappeared. Oh, that was good. I got a good shot on her. Ooh, a couple of those. And so by just having basically the amount of health that I currently have, I can kind of get a sense for how many times I'm getting hit. Oh, neat. So I picked up the key there. And again, so it's an interesting thing, right? Where like I can dodge these, you know, but you can run away from the bullets, so it gives you a different kind of like sort of, it's not really a bullet hell, there's a lot of bullets in this case, you know, bullet hells more so with the other bigger bullet patterns, but because I can play with the space differently, I can kind of retreat but still be engaged because the bullets are slow, and then understand which enemies I missed and which enemies I was able to kill. So we pick up that key there. And come up here. This is the thing I put in just the other day. We got this lock. Opens up here. I'm gonna do something with these laser dishes. I think I want to put them on some movement bits. Oh man, I got hit there. Yeah, the only thing that your weak point on the ship is the circular area, and this will all be all spinning and cool with animations. And I'm still designing this area a bit more, but I want to get bigger, what the hell kind of patterns going here. Oh my god, I like those. And again, so it's interesting because look, I push myself over here, and then what happens, right? So it kind of resets, because I could make the bullet shoot from off screen, and you want to deal with some enemies, but you don't want that to be the norm. You don't want just a bunch of bullets all the time causing the player to respond to where they can't see where the source of the bullets are. So I think it's an interesting piece. It's an interesting gameplay mechanic, right? And here I decided to put them opposite of each other because now I could be like, oh, let me, oh crap, that guy got me there. He got me again. Oh gosh. But I could just try to stay close in on this guy here, and then know that the other guy's from the other side, right? So, and I kind of woke him up a tiny bit with some of his projectiles. But so it gives me an interesting way to think about the space in terms of how big the space is. This is a much bigger vertical space, both horizontally, but you're also weaker currently because you don't have any weapons that shoot up and down. So it makes you also respond and play the space differently. Well, that's pretty much where we're at. Not too bad. I think that was around, I don't know, let me take a look. I think it was around 8 minutes or so, maybe. It felt like that. Take a look at OBS here. But thank you. I think I took a couple really good notes, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.